Hey crafty friends, it's Rick. I'm back with another video. Today we are featuring products from CC Designs, and we are going to be making a quadruple Z-Fold card. Y'all have asked for it, so we're going to make it. And to refresh your memory, this is the template. That's the card we're going to be making today. We're going to be using the red nose stamp set as our focal image, and for our sentiments, I used cardstock from the Peppermint Smooth Cardstock Pack and the Peppermint pattern paper as my card, and I'm going to use the wavy circles as to cut everything out. So I've already stamped out my cute little Rudolph, and we are going to color him up. I'm going to use Triblend markers to color him. I'm going to use the brush tips, and those are the colors I'm planning on using. So we are going to start off by coloring our little Rudolph, my sweet little Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer. And I'm going to go with my darkest color first, which is EB7. I'm going to add that dark in. I'm going to come from this side. So I'm just going to lay that in right there. And the reason I pulled in the other one is because this is not quite as big of a jump as it is with these. Just a little bit too big of a jump right there, so I pulled in this other one to kind of help with that. So we're going to color up his little face right there with our next darkest color. And I will switch over to my mid-tone. And that will be a large section of our image. And I am not going to color the scarf. I actually have stamped it and cut it out of a piece of the pattern paper so that we could tie that paper back into our project. And a little shadow on that ear. I'm going to switch back over to EB2 as my highlight, and I'm going to blend all of this together. Now I'm going to do his little body. So I'm going to start off back here with the dark. It's the part I want to be the darkest. Back here, this little hindquarters. Like, what is this called? Hindquarters. So we'll color that. Add a little bit of shadow right here. I'm going to switch over to my next darkest. That together. We'll do this right here. Color his little leggy. I just adore this movie and I adore this stamp set. I don't know about y'all, but I have thoroughly enjoyed playing with it and creating projects with it. All right, I've got my mid-tone here. I'm going to color that, use that. And I'm only leaving that little sliver for the highlight. Which is our EB2. So we'll just finish coloring him up. If you leave a little bit of white, it's okay. Don't fret. It will be okay. All right. For his the white on him, I'm going to use the lightest of the gray, ice gray markers. I'm going to start off with IB3. I'm going to lay in those shadows first. And I am going to have to pull pink for his little ears, so I'll do that. I'm going to switch over to IB2 and blend that together. And then we got an IB1, and that's my lightest color, and I'll blend that to the white of the paper. So I will take a colorless blender and just blend that together. Now for his little hooves, I'm just going to add the darkest color, which is IB10. And let's blend that out with Ice Gray 7, Ice G. All right, for his little eyes, he's going to have some brown eyes. So I'm going to do a slightly different, I'm going to use golden brown for that. Just like them to stand out a little bit. And I forgot a little part of his eye. I don't know how I forgot that. Now for his little antlers, I'm just going to color those in with my Earth Brown 1, which is the lightest color. And move these out of the way. I'm going to grab my pink. And I got to color his little nose. All right, I've just got pale pink 4 and 2. I'm going to do that. It's going to be the insides of my ears. Just blend that out. Now, sorry, that was pale pink 1 as not 2. So there's his little ears all colored. Now we're going to do his little nose. So I'm going to add my shadow first. Normally I would use my regular Triblends for this, but I have those in the house because I find those easier to color with on images that are a little bit more detailed. We got his little tongue. Can't forget that. Rudolph needs a tongue. All right, I've got my scarf. So I'm going to take my tweezers. I'm going to hold that, and I'm just going to glue this in place. I just stamped it on the pattern, a scrap of that pattern paper, and just cut right around it. So that it would fit right. You can just paper piece that right in there. And he's got this fun pattern scarf. And I can take and add a little bit to these stripes. Add just a little color to those. And that way I don't have to do a lot of coloring. All right, we're going to cut this out. I'm going to use this one right here, that one. And then I'm going to cut a matte layer from that one out of some cardstock. So I will go do that and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I went and cut Rudolph out. I've already got my pieces for our fun fold card, the Quadruple Z-Fold card, ready to go. And we will talk about all the little parts and pieces you're going to need. So there is one set we'll talk about in a minute. There's our matte layers. All right, so you're going to need a card base that's 8.5 by 5.5, and you're going to score that at 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. We're going to take that 2 1/8 piece panel, and we're going to fold it back on itself. Okay? Standard Z-fold. If I can get my bone folder. We're going to give that a nice crease. We're going to reinforce this one over here. So there's that. Okay, now you're going to need 4 pieces of 1 inch by 8 1/4 pieces of cardstock. And you're going to score those all at 4 1/4 and 6 3/8. And we're going to take and fold one back on itself. And then the other one will get folded back just like that. So you have a valley and a mountain. Okay? Valley and a mountain. That's what we want. And actually, I lied. It's mountain, valley. So you're going to want a mountain and a valley. Sorry about that. So you're going to want it just like that. Mountain and valley. So we've got that one. It's going to be our mountain. Fold this one up to make the valley. Mountain. Valley. So we're going to need 4 of these. And it helps if you fold it the right way. Mountain. Valley. Okay, so there's that. Now, we're going to go ahead and attach these to our Z-fold card. So these will go just like this. Okay. So I'm going to add adhesive. I only want adhesive on what's going to fit on your panel. And Lord of mercy, let's get it straight. You could actually take this just a little bit longer if you wanted to. I'm going to go from the top right here. And I'm just leaving a little margin on there. That way it's a little easier to do it this way. It goes from the top and the bottom. And then you can space out your center sections a little bit better. Main thing is making sure that you space them evenly and you line them up straight. And I think I'm going to have to stand up to do this. Any other time, I'd be using liquid glue. But not today. I can move those down. Do that. We're going to take this one. I'm going to fold it. Adjust these just slightly. I'm just adjusting to make sure this is on there right. So we're going to adjust that over. And you might find it easier to do it this way, to start with it folded. And then assemble. All up to you. That's what I like about this adhesive. It's not really down per se until it dries. You do have a little bit of time to move it around. Now, once I do press it, it's done. There ain't no moving this. All right, so there is our base. Now we're going to hide the ugly. All right, so for that, you're going to need a piece of pattern paper, embossing, or whatever. And this is cut at 1 5/8 by 5. My matte layer is 1 3/4 by 5 1/8, and 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to add these. This pink one's going to go right on this layer. With just a little border. And then our pattern paper will go over onto our matte layer. Just like that. And then we're going to take this panel and we're going to attach it to our front. So we're just going to kind of center that a little bit. There's that. Now our other panel right here, we have a piece that's 1 3/4 by 5. That's our pattern paper. It could be embossed panel, whatever. That matte layer is 1 7/8 by 5 1/8 and 2 by 5 1/4. So we will go ahead and add this matte layer. And we will add our pattern paper. All right, I'm going to add adhesive on that, and it's going to get attached to this side of our card along the edge of the card base. So we want it to be able to close. All right, so there is that. Now, you're going to need 4 matte layers that are 3/4 of an inch by 2 with a piece of pattern paper that's a 1/2 inch by 1 3/4. So we've got those there. And I'm going to attach these. Make sure I have this aligned upright since it is a pattern. So get right there. Add that layer. I would like it to be straight. Add that one. And we've got our last one. Now, our last panel, those are a little bit different. You're going to want 4 that are 1 3/4 by 3/4 inch mats, and pattern paper is a 1/2 inch by 1 1/2. That's going to be your mat layers for the center, or for the next panel. They're slightly smaller than this one. So we're going to line this up. There's that. Now we're going to add our focal image, and we've got to do our sentiment as well. I'm going to grab a scrap piece of paper. And we will add our sentiment into that. And then I will stamp that using VersaFine Nocturne ink. All right, I went and cut we've stamped our sentiment. I've cut it out. Now we can start layering these up together. So we're going to add our circle, our wavy circles together. And then we will pop up our sentiment on there in a little bit. We're going to decide our placement on our card front. So we can add adhesive on, we're going to add them on these, because we don't want to glue our card shut. There is our little Z-Fold card. Now we're going to pop our sentiment up. I'm going to take some foam tape, and we're still going to add our little highlights as well. We will add some bling as well. So we're going to add this sentiment right down here. All right, we're going to come in and add some highlights to our sweet little reindeer. So we're going to add them right on his nose, his little head. We'll add some right there. Inside of his little ear. And add some on that scarf. Then we'll do a little right here. We'll do some on each of his little hooves. Back leg. And one on his little tail. And we are going to add some shimmer to him that I can't find. So we're just going to add some shimmer clear overlay pen to him. And then we're going to add some rhinestones. So we're going to do some pink. We're going to do 3 up here. And we'll do 2 on this side. Let me get my pickup tool. And I really want to see, let me see if I have different colors as well. Not quite the right mint, but we are going to add, I'm going to change some of these out. Do a couple mint. And we'll have some red. That way all of our colors will be represented on there. So we'll add pink right here. Add a red Hopefully. If Rick could pick one up, that would be red. So we'll pop that one right there. All right, here's our Quadruple Z-Fold card. And you have plenty of room to stamp your stamp and write a personal message on the back. If you like any of these products, you're going to find them all listed in the video description below, as well on the coordinating blog post where you will find more pictures of today's card. I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys. Stay crafty. Love you.